Welcome back to Vidhammer for another instructional game, this time for Istanbul by Rudiger Dorn and distributed through AEG. This one got the Kennerspiel des Jahres award in 2014. This is a fun little move around and resource management game where everybody goes through Istanbul trying to sell wares in their little cart. Everybody is going to get one of these cart tiles to hold all the little resources in, their little goods. And you're going to take one of the 5 colors and the corresponding little cheat board for it. Then you have these 16 locations. You're going to distribute these on the board depending on how difficult of a game you want to play. And that is denoted through the little numbers on the side here. But to start things out, just get them out there on the board. So voila, there that is. Once you're ready, go ahead and give yourself your starting color. You've got 4 cubes of your color to keep track of your resources on your sheet. They're all going to start in this little box that looks kind of like a computer monitor. It's actually a tipped over crate to denote that you don't have any of that resource. They're all going to start at 0. Everyone will be starting with their main sultan and 4 of their followers here in the fountain. Your 5th one you will keep off to the side. You'll have to buy that one from later. And you will have your family member, the drunken uncle, here in the police station. Also, the starting player will get the starting player tile and have 2 lira. Everyone else gets 1 additional lira as it goes around. So what you're trying to do in this game is to acquire these gems by going to the few places on the board where you can do that. The Gemstone Dealer and the Sultan's Palace, you can keep getting gems to them every time that you go back as long as you have the resources necessary to buy those gems. You can also get gems by acquiring these upgrades at the Small and Great Mosque. Once you've acquired both of the upgrades that one of those spaces actually contains, you will get one time a single ruby from that location. These upgrades will also help you significantly as the game goes on. At the start of the game, everyone begins at the fountain, and on your turn, you get to move and then do one or perhaps several actions depending on what is at the location you're moving to. When you move, you can move 1 or 2 spaces orthogonally, which means not diagonally. I could move 1 to go to the post office and 2 to move myself over to the spice warehouse if I want to. I just can't go 1 space to the fountain and then 1 to go to the black market. When you do move, say I'm going from the fountain to the spice warehouse, and I move 2 places, once you get there, you will either drop off or pick up one of your followers. So I don't have a follower here to pick up, so I will drop one of my followers off for my little magnetized pieces here to try to keep them in. It does not come this way. I magnetize these myself, and so I leave one of my followers behind, and here at the spice warehouse I do the action on the location that's there. Actions will either give you resources, or you will spend resources to try to acquire different upgrades or gems or money, or perhaps you will just straight up try to get yourself money. I'll go over all of those in a little more detail later. But going over the rest of movement, once I move away from this space, and perhaps I go down to the large market on my next turn, I will again have to leave one of my workers behind, meaning I only have 2 left. On my next turn, I can choose to go to another place, perhaps the post office, move to and leave a person behind. Or if I want, I could go back to the spice warehouse, and if I'm going there, instead of dropping a piece off, since I have a piece there, I can pick that piece up. This means I'll have more workers to help me out as I move through the rest of the game. Because if at any point, when you've gone through and moved and gotten yourself where you need to, if you get yourself out of position, which can happen, to where you're in a place where by moving 1 or 2 spaces, because you cannot move 0, if I were to move and go back to the fabric warehouse, I don't have anyone to pick up or drop off. My turn ends immediately without doing the action at the location. The only exception to that is if you move to the fountain, because this is the one place where if you go there, you get to pick all of your pieces back up again, regardless from where they are on the board. You get them all back, and your turn will begin again next round. But that is the only thing you'll get to do. There isn't anything else special you get to do at the fountain. So how do we go about this? How do we get these gems? What happens when we move to these locations? Well, first of all, there are 3 primary locations: the spice warehouse, the fabric warehouse, and the fruit warehouse, where when you go there, you will gain that corresponding resource to its maximum. If I make a move over to the spice warehouse, I'm going to increase my spice to its maximum. Right now my maximum is 2, but as the game goes on and I buy these handy-dandy little things, I'm going to increase what that maximum is. Every time I go here, it goes all the way up to whatever my maximum capable is at the time. So those 3 spots will gain you those 3 resources. Notice there isn't one of those for gaining your blue to its maximum. Blue is more rare, but there are a couple of places to get it. 2 more places you can go to: the mosques here, the Great Mosque and the Small Mosque. We talked about these upgrades. In order to buy an upgrade, you must have the capability of holding as many goods as are listed on the top of that upgrade, and you have to pay 1 of that resource type, denoted by the little red arrow there. So the first person to go over to the Great Mosque and try to pick up this blue upgrade needs to have the capability to hold 2 blue resources, and you'll have to pay 1 of them. If I had myself 1 blue resource and hopped over here, I have the ability to hold 2, I would pay 1, and I could get that blue upgrade. Blue upgrade gives you your 5th worker. Yay! The yellow upgrade allows you, each time you move, to pay 2 lira to regain 1 of your workers from another space. Down at the small mosque, the green upgrade, each time you go to any one of the warehouses to increase your goods to maximum, you can pay 2 lira to gain any other resource of any color. Finally, the red upgrade allows you to do some funky stuff when you roll the dice in one of the 2 spaces where you have to. You will be rolling 2 of the dice, and after you roll, the red upgrade will either allow you to change either one of the dice facings to a 4, or it will let you re-roll both of them. Only 1 time, though. Did I mention there were spaces that required you to roll dice? Yeah, there's 2 of them: the black market and the Teahouse. The black market, if you go here, you get to gain 1 resource, either red, green, or yellow. Then you get to roll both of the dice and collect blue resources depending on how much you roll. Down at the Teahouse, you will declare a number from 3 through 12. Then you will roll the dice. If you manage to roll what you declared or higher, you will get as much lira as you declared. If you actually roll below that, you'll get 2 as a consolation prize. Lira can come in handy for upgrading your cart, which is another place that I forgot can actually earn you gems. At the Wainwright, you can pay 7 lira to gain one of these improvement tabs for your cart. They give you a little more space. You can now hold a little more in goods. Once you max out your cart entirely, you will again gain 1 time a ruby. Having a bigger cart can carry more goods, and goods can get you more lira by selling them off at either the small or the large market. When you go to either one of these spaces, you will get to sell off up to 5 goods corresponding to what's listed on the tile, and the amount of money that you get is listed off to the side. So if I were to sell 4 resources, I could sell 2 green, a yellow, and a blue if I didn't have any red by chance. I could sell off those 4 resources and earn myself 14 lira for it over here. When I do that, I will actually take that top tile off and put it on the bottom. This will alter the goods that are needed as the game goes by. The large market, you have the same thing going on, but there's more blue involved in this location, and consequently the amount of lira that you get is higher as well. The post office can be another nice place to go. When you get there, you will get whatever resources are not being blocked off by these 4 cubes. After you gain whatever resources are there, you will move one of the top cubes down in order. Once they've all reached the bottom and someone goes there, they will all reset to the top again. The caravansary has these extra cards that will help you get through certain things. These should actually not be on the board at the time that you go there. But when you land, you will get to look at 2 of these cards. You will get to keep 1 and put the other one here face up. This is important because when people go to this spot, you can take your 2 cards, either as the face down ones here or the face up ones that are here, as long as you take them in order. Any card that you have, you can play at any time on your turn. There's no limit to how many of them you can play. Note also, if I go here, this little piece is here because I rolled its starting place at the start of the game. This is something else that you can interact with on your turn. Both of these fun little things. When you go to this space after you've done the action on the card, you get a chance to do an extra action if you're occupying a space with one of these things. The purple one will allow you to draw one card and decide to discard another one of your cards if you have something that you don't want to hold on to, discarding it face up to the caravanserai. Or if you want to keep a hold of all the cards you have and not discard anything, you will have to pay 2 lira in order to do that. This guy is a similar thing, except you get to gain any one resource that you want, and either give up one resource or pay 2 lira in order to keep all of your resources. If you do choose to interact with it, afterwards you will roll both of the dice and you will put that to the location that you rolled, the number being the big number on the location, not either of the small ones. The other 2 places you can go to try to help yourself win the game, the Gemstone Dealer and the Sultan's Palace. When you go to the Gemstone Dealer, you will pay the amount of lira that is shown in the next open space. That's the cost of the gem to actually get it. So right now, it would take me 12 lira to buy myself this ruby. The next time someone goes there, me or anyone else, it's now going to cost 13, then 14, then 15. These keep going up by 1, so it's in your best interest to get there as early as you can. Same situation over in the Sultan's Palace, but now we're dealing with resources, and the cost is all of the resources that are exposed. Right now, it's 1 of each color. After that, the next person will have to pay 1 of each color, then 1 more of any color, random color. After that, you're going to have to throw another blue on top of that, and then a red, then a green. So the number of resources that you need is also going to be going up as people keep going there. And people will go to the places that you want to be, and they will be in your way, which causes you another problem. Suppose there's already someone over here at the fabric warehouse, which I want to go to. I can still move to this space, but since there's an actual sultan here, it doesn't matter about the workers you leave behind, just the sultan himself. If there's another player's sultan at that location, I've got to pay him 2 coins if I want to actually do the location on that space. If I don't have the money to pay him, or I just don't want to pay him, my turn would end immediately. The only exception to this, of course, is the fountain, where you go to get all your pieces back. It doesn't matter if somebody else is there. You don't have to pay them any money. You always get all of your pieces back. But anywhere else, if you want to go to that place, you have to pay 2 to everyone who would be there. So if green happened to be there as well, now I've got to pay both of these douchebags 2 coins if I want to be able to do that. Maybe I don't want to go there and pay those people that. Maybe a space is too crowded, I don't have enough money. There is a way to get around this, and that's the police station. If you go and land yourself on the police station, you can send your drunken uncle or whoever to go do the bad deeds for you. By landing on the police station, you get to move your family member to any space on the board that you want, and you don't have to pay for other people being there. So I could go over here to the fabric warehouse, get myself my red goods up to maximum, and not have to pay anyone. The downside is I won't interact with anything else that's on that space. So I don't get a chance to use this just by sending my drunken uncle over there. He doesn't know how to do anything other than just interact with the space. But if there was something else over here on the police station when I chose to go by, I can interact with this one. But that's the game and how you play. You keep running around until someone has reached 5 gems on their tablet. You play to an equal number of turns. Whoever has the most gems at the end of that is the winner, with the tie going to the person who has the most lira. This is a really fun game, has a high replay value, and plays relatively quickly once you get the hang of it. It has good replayability by how you lay out the board, and in some cases how you design the board as well. Can change things up greatly. Play it, have fun, enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. If I were to go over to the spice warehouse here, as my pieces run all over the board, and even in some cases, how you decide to design the board can